My name is Bobbi Brooks. Join me and my team as we take a look into the history of haunted locations. Not only will we break down the history, we will also hunt for the spirits that reside in these locations. You are watching Haunted History of the Paranormal. Thank you for tuning in. We are on location in Grafton, Illinois at the Ruebel Hotel. We're getting ready to sit down and speak with the owner, Karen, all about the history and the spirits that reside within. All right, we are sitting in the bar at the Ruebel Hotel with Miss Karen Kami, the owner. Thank you so much for doing this. We love this place and we love having you on. Are you ready to get down to some history on this location?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, one thing I wanted to mention was when I met Karen just a few minutes ago, she told me that she came into this business as a skeptic. So throughout this interview, keep your ears open because I don't think she's a skeptic anymore. So can you tell us a bit of the history of the hotel?
Well, Grafton itself is one of the oldest cities in Jersey Township. The hotel was built in 1879 by a man, the last name Ruebel, of course. It was a huge place for river traffic and all the trade from west to here to everywhere because of the Mississippi and the Illinois rivers that split. They went both ways. It was a huge hotel with 32 rooms. It was the only hotel in Grafton. And settlers came here to stay and leave and go and come.
So a lot of people came in and out of this hotel at that time.
Yes, the history says that it was like a main stopping place for those that were settling to other places and those that were trading and stopping here and going back and coming back.
Right, and we're right on the river. I mean, if you look out the back window over there, you can see the river from here. And that, they say, can aid to paranormal phenomenon with the river being right there, and then we get the limestone bluffs right there. Just a little bit of everything with that. So when did you get involved with the hotel?
My husband decided to buy a smaller property. He had chain hotels, and we were going to do this as a retirement project. It was going to be smaller, and so we purchased it 5 years ago. And every town that we've lived in has started with a G.
That's neat.
Ever since we met. Granite City, Godfrey, and now Grafton. So I guess this is going to be our last home.
It's neat, and it's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful restoration that you've done on it. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed. We're sitting in the bar area of it, and you were telling us that this bar came from the World's Fair.
In 1904, this bar was put here. When the building caught fire in 1912, it was removed. It was placed outside so that it didn't get burned.
Right.
And then after the building was restored, it was put back in.
And this is one of the, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. I can't stop. I love the bar.
It's an original.
It is original. And you mentioned the fire. And what year was that fire?
Fire was in 1912.
And did it affect the whole hotel or just part of the hotel?
I believe it affected the whole hotel.
Right, and there was nobody hurt or injured during the fire, was there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
The pictures on the back wall that were from the early 1900s show this original bar, and everything is matching as those pictures.
That is so neat. When you restore a place, it's great to get it to look the way it was.
You don't want to lose the charm of the old time.
Right, and that's so popular nowadays with, you know, bed and breakfasts or small hotels like this. You want to keep that original charm. So what are some of the experiences you have had at the hotel that kind of swayed you from skeptic to believer?
Well, my first experience was my husband and I were relocating to a new home in Grafton. So we were temporarily staying in an apartment that is below the hotel. It's a very beautiful apartment. 2 weeks after we purchased the hotel, we had a major flood. That was 2006.
Oh man.
And that was completely flooded. Everything was flooded all the way up to the hallway in the lobby, which you'll see later. So it was totally redone, and we lived there for a few months. And in the winter, it was during the winter, when we have no guests during the week, we would leave all the doors, like the bar door and the kitchen door and hotel room doors, open, because we treated it as if it were just our home.
Right.
And it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were down below sleeping. My son was in the other room, and my husband said he had locked the front door. Everything was locked, so that way if I wanted to come up in my robe, I'd just go to the kitchen or wherever I desired. Mm-hmm. And I woke up, it was 3:09, and I heard a bunch of running. And I listened, and I nudged my husband and said, "Somebody's upstairs. I hear someone running." And he mumbled, "No one's upstairs. I've already locked all the doors." And I said, "No, someone is running. Someone's upstairs." Nobody's upstairs. So at that time, I've never really believed in ghosts or anything of that nature. I just didn't believe in it. And I'd heard many stories about this place. So I said, okay. I got my robe on, I came up the steps, I came in the bar door located there. And we have a kitchen door located over here, which is very heavy. Mm-hmm. And that door was not locked. I opened the door and I jokingly said, "Okay, cut it out, knock it off, I'm here, you're not scaring me." And I walked around a little bit less than where you're seated, a couple chairs over. Mm-hmm. And the kitchen door opened and closed.
Oh, wow. You just gave me goosebumps all over.
It opened coming this way. It's really a push door.
That's what I was thinking, looking at the hinges.
Someone had to be on the other side in order to push it.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, come on, knock it off, who's here? And the door opened and it closed. So then I got a little scared and I walked a couple more steps, and there's a phone on that wall right by that door. Mm-hmm. We have 2 phone lines and they were both lit. There was no ringing, but they were both lit. So then I was like, oh, you're not funny. So I walked around here, I picked up the phone, there was no dial tone, there was no one on the phone, but the 2 lines were lit. So then I proceeded to go in the kitchen and I talked to them. I just said, you're not going to scare me and I'm not going to go away, so you need to stop running because I'm going to bed now. And I knew no one was in the hotel, so I went back downstairs. I laid in the bed. My husband was sleeping, and as I laid there, I heard running.
My goodness.
So I guess they weren't done doing what they were going to do.
Right.
That was my first experience.
That was your first experience. That's an amazing first experience, because some people, when they have their first experience with the paranormal, it's, oh, I saw a shadow. Oh, I heard a noise. You heard the noise. You saw manipulation of a door being open and closed. And then with the phone line, that's kind of like, hey, we're here.
We're here. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And do you have a lot of paranormal experiences throughout your time? I'm sure 5 years you've had a lot of them.
Yes, there's been a lot. Some of the stories are from my customers, but the stories of my actual things that happened to me. If I lock the bar up in the evening and I've closed down everything, and it may be a silly conclusion, I think they like water. Mm-hmm. I think they like to run. I think they like to hide things from you when you know that you put something in that place, and then a few seconds you turn around and it's completely gone, and you know it was there.
I have 4 sets of keys for 2 vehicles because at least once a month, one of my sets of keys will go missing.
It's keys, it's salt and pepper shakers, it's silverware, you just don't know what it'll be. I mean,
right.
You never know. I could be on the phone and I could set something down on the counter and I walk away for 2 seconds and I go back and it's not there.
My wine glass is still there, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Here's mine.
Now, I have heard I've done the research, and I've heard that there's a child spirit here named Abigail. Is that true, or is that just somebody who named her, or?
There have been many stories about Abigail. It was my understanding, from what I've read and what I've been told, is since this was a major hotel for all the traffic on the river, there were families that would stop here and spend the night. And if a child or an adult got sick, they would be left behind. And if they died here with someone else that was staying.
Wow.
And that she had gotten sick and she died here and she was left here. I believe she was 9 years old. I'm not sure if it was, I don't know I've never definitively read what she got.
Right.
I do know that the disease, it was called dread disease, and it was called cholera. I'm not aware of what that is, but I know it did affect a lot of the settlers that came here that got sick and died from it.
Right.
I never went and looked it up,
Right.
but that's the name of it. I think she's possibly here. I think there's more than one. Well, I know there's more than one.
Right.
I think that, I think they're all ages. She just has to be the famous ghost.
Right.
Because people have seen her. I have not seen her. We have a picture painted of her on the staircase because there's a lot of activity, and when I mean activity, my guests will take pictures, and there will be a lot of different orbs in certain rooms. They'll be on the staircase. The history that I've read, it's been the staircase and the stairwells. I don't know if that's where ghosts like to hide, but it seems to be that's where the most activity is.
Right. Well, we'll definitely check that out. My daughter is 8, and her name is Addie.
Mm-hmm.
So that when reading that, it kind of drew me a little bit more to that specific spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one that I'm definitely going to try to reach out more to on more of a personal level this evening whenever we do our little investigation. So that's a personal reason why I'm doing that.
Okay.
As a mom. All right. So after 5 years here, you've seen so many things, you've heard so many things. Do you believe that the hotel is haunted?
Yes, I do believe it's haunted.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up here. We're going to take a quick tour of all the spots where there's the most paranormal activity with Miss Karen, and we will be back. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Karen's going to give us a quick tour of all the paranormal locations of the hotel. I'll let you take it away, and I will follow you.
Okay, we're going to go up this infamous staircase. This is where all of our customers, when taking pictures, this staircase and 2 rooms happen to be the most active as far as showing orbs.
Okay.
The lower staircase, which goes down to the banquet room, is where I hear running a lot.
Okay.
So we're going to go up the steps.
So it's on the staircase you hear the running?
Yes. As well as this picture is supposed to be a snapshot of Abigail, located right here along this wall. Okay, room 11. This is the famous Sultani room.
Can you pronounce that again?
Sultani.
Sultani.
This is the room, according to my guests. I have not personally stayed in this room. I'm not scared, but I don't see a reason to stay in it. This is where the most activity is in all the 22 rooms that we have. Stories have it that this is where Abigail was as a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Some stories say that she died here in this room. Some stories say that she died in the hotel, so you don't really know. People that visit this room specifically ask for this room. Our last customer that stayed here about 3 months ago, it was a couple, man and wife, and they met my husband in the morning for breakfast, continental breakfast, and the gentleman stated to us that they had packed their belongings up and they were putting them in the car, and they had closed their door and locked the door. put all their belongings in their car, came back up to their room, and the room smelled like cologne. It was a men's cologne, and he said it was very strong. And his wife said, well, did you leave your cologne, or did you spill your cologne? And he said, no, I didn't. It's in the car. So they left the room. They came down to the restaurant and proceeded to tell my husband and I that there was this huge, strong cologne smell, and it had to be coming from this room, and it wasn't from him because he had packed his belongings and he didn't put any cologne on.
Right.
So when I came up, I smelled a very strong, it was cologne, but it was like a, almost like a rose base. Like,
Really?
it wasn't like, a men's polo cologne
Right,
or
it was more
a specific brand
a
or
feminine
anything.
type
It was
of-
just, yes. And there was nothing spilt or anything, and they said, oh, that's the stuff going on in that room. So,
Wow.
and that was by a customer. So,
Right. Well, they're the ones who come here.
Yeah,
So
and
we
they're
got to
the ones
use
who
their
stay,
experience
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So room 11,
hmm
we got to watch our noses be able to smell.
Say that
My
again.
head is spinning.
Explain to people at home what that means when your head spins.
When my head spins, I'm not a psychic. Never said I was. But I tend to sometimes pick up on feelings. And usually whenever I go into a location and my head starts spinning, there's something there. So I've noticed it several times in different rooms that we were in. Okay, we're done with the tour for now. I'm going to challenge Matt in a game of Pac-Man till it gets a little bit darker, which it shouldn't be but 10 minutes. And then we're going to do our little investigation of the 3 rooms and the banquet hall and the bar. You just go for the pellets. You don't go for the...
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
My turn. Yeah.
And that's how it's done, folks. And more dancing.
Well, now that I've kicked Matt's butt on Miss Pac-Man, we're going to actually do what we came here to do, and we're going to hunt.
Oh my god. Oh boy.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
We're now in the bar area. It's Matt, Missy, and Bobby. Can you move a door or make a sound or anything and let us know that you're in here with us?
What draws you to this place? Did you stay here on a vacation, or did you die here?
All right, we're going into room 3, which is Juliet room.
Right.
I think your IR's shot. I'm gonna put a new battery in it real quick.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's it looks dim to me.
We experienced battery drain multiple times. This is said to occur when the spirits pull the energy from devices. Shortly after the battery drain, we had K2 hit.
Look how faint that is.
Look at the K2.
K2 was on 2, Matt. Yeah, I got it in my hand.
Oh, sorry.
Are you draining Missy's battery?
There it goes again. Whoa.
Almost 3.
So, since I'm going to take that as a yes. So, can you step away from the light really quick and make it go down to 1, please? Or can you make it light up to yellow and red again? Okay, thank you. That's good. That's perfect.
You hear it now? I mean, it could be something else, but I just hear like a muffled TV sound.
What was that?
That was a
That's what
thump.
I'm talking about.
No, I heard a thump.
Yeah.
Did you hear a thump?
Almost like running. Yeah, we want to make that clear. We are in this place, just us 3, nobody else.
We're in room 11. And I could never imagine leaving you here sick or leaving you here to die without being by your side, and I'm so sorry if that happened to you.
So she died of cholera? Cholera?
I think so. I think that's what she said.
Dehydration from
Probably from the flu or
it's
something.
from diarrhea, yeah.
Is there something you want to say to us? Do you like it here, or are you stuck?
Outside noise. It's getting colder in here.
Abigail, is that you making the room cold? Come sit over here by me on the couch. I've heard that there's a lot of activity on these steps. Bobby, do you know any of the specific details?
Karen said she heard running on the steps. They say they get a lot of orb pictures on the steps, which, you know, I believe in some orbs, but they have to be pretty impressive. She does. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do a spirit box session, or Frank's box. I think we're gonna try it here, room 3, and another room. We're gonna do the spirit box, a couple more sessions. The spirit box sweeps through radio stations at a very fast rate, to where any voices that you hear come through wouldn't be from that radio station, because they flip so quick. We have some, in our past couple investigations for Haunted History of the Paranormal, we have had some pretty good luck with the spirit box.
Now this particular spirit box is a PSB7. It's the new model, and it works just as good as a Radio Shack hack. A lot of people want to argue that, you know, the Radio Shack hack version is better, but if a spirit wants to communicate, they'll use any form that you have. So I turned it on FM. We don't really get any stations on FM, really. If you look here, all you get is static. And I've got it set on 100 milliseconds. So I'm going to start sweeping. See how fast that goes? Abigail, are you here?
How many spirits are here? Not sure.
Hello? Hello?
That was pretty plain as day. Connecting with everybody on Twitter. Let's see. Carl D. Bobby, please put my name in the credits. Laugh out loud, because I'm awesome. Carl D. There you are. The Ruebel Hotel and spirits that reside there are only part of the history of the small river town of Grafton. I would advise for you to take a trip there to experience them for yourselves. Till next time, happy hunting.
And